Simplicity is the prerequisite for reliability. Edsger Dijkstra. My friends, each and every day we keep it simple so we can be reliable. Let's jump into these charts. It is a day where everything is down, pulling back. And we see the biggest pullback is in Bitcoin, but next to that's the NASDAQ 100. And as I look at the trade execution summary grid that's already been sent out to the Patreon members, I see that gold is showing the most bullishness, even though it's down for the day. I'm not sure I'm agreeing with that. We'll get to that when we do. But when it comes to the S&P and the NASDAQ, they're both showing bearishness. Now, we're not there yet, but let's look at what we have. As we look at the S&P first, we see we're going to our second week of a doji right now, sitting right there on the weekly trend line. You can see there's a little wick. Let's blow this up so you can see it better. You can see there's a little wick on the bottom here. It's pretty much a doji. Bigger wick last week going down, but there's a down wick and an up wick. And as we look at things, of course, we've not gotten anywhere near the prior high. Things have been pulling back some, and we look at the volume. The volume is almost average. We would expect it to be average in the morning as we look at the way things built up throughout the week and then really pulled down hard on Thursday. It's going to be interesting to see what happens on Friday. Very curious. We are not seeing the telltale signs of a red spinning top. We had 2 dead weeks. If you look over here at the last time the market ran up, we had an interim low with lots of volume. We had 2 dead weeks, almost 2 dojis, a little bit of a green spinning top, then a doji, then things took off. Now, we've had 2 dojis before, things going what looked like maybe getting ready to move down. We didn't have the telltale red spinning top, which is what we like the most. What we really prefer, again, is a strong down candle and then or in this case, a strong up candle, which we had, followed immediately by a red spinning top, which we don't have. So we will pay close attention. Volumes here, we've had average volume going on now 3 weeks. And even before that, just barely below. I mean, look at all the volume we've had since early September. So again, we're paying close attention as to what's going on. Down for the day, it's a decent down day. I mean, it really is 1.66% for the S&P. Things really did cave over. The 2-day chart, as it ended today, sitting right on the weekly trend line. So we don't have anything big shoving us down, but we are cautious. And we'll wait, watch, and see tomorrow. If tomorrow's another big day and this turns into a red spinning top, then of course we may go ahead and take a bit of a down position. You could do that in a practice trade, potentially. We're not there yet. We'll see as the market moves on, but look for that. Now, things are a little different in the NASDAQ. It was down even more, over 2%, 2.04. It's well below the weekly trend line on the 2-day and the half-day. It's been below on the half-day since last Thursday, the 6th. And you see the same thing here, the Thursday, Friday of this last week where it punched below. So we have a red spinning, almost a doji. It is technically a spinning top. So we are, again, looking to see what happens on Friday. That's when we tend to enter our trades. And if indeed we have another down day on Friday, we may pull the trigger. We may. So be watching. See how that sets up for you and may pull the trigger on a down trade. Now, you might say, Tom, how do you do down trades on the S&P or the NASDAQ? Well, on the S&P, if you don't know how to use puts, don't know how to purchase them, how to trade options, then, of course, you can always opt for something like an inverse fund, like the short of the S&P 500, the single short. We do have a great training called Inverse Funds, How to Make Money When Markets Crash. I'm going to put that in. Let me write this down for you. I'm going to put that in at the end of today's video. You will see it. If you've not experienced, not watched that yet, please do so. But I'm going to write that down for you. Oh, by the way, while I'm doing that, Patreon members, we also have for you the weekly vertical crossovers for the week. So check your email or go to the Patreon page. We always provide you with those on Thursday so you can potentially practice trade them on Friday. Now, what's the inverse for the NASDAQ? Well, there's several for both the S&P and the NASDAQ. This single inverse, PSQ, again, managed by ProShares. So keep an eye on each of those if you are interested and potentially feel like there is a practice trade. And I always say practice trade because we're not a stock calling service. We're an education firm. We want you to practice trade with us. And I may very well be going short on either one of these tomorrow. More likely the S&P, the NASDAQ, if we see more strong down moves and that red candle gets a little bigger. We shall see because we got the volume. We have the volume in the interim high, and then with things rolling over, maybe we shall see. Not calling it yet, but I will be watching for it. What about bonds? Bonds reverting back to the mean, down 0.82% down. Again, not quite a percent, 0.82. We are still bearish on bonds, not all that much, but we are bearish. And again, second week with a down mover. We're not hitting a lower low. Don't know if we're going to get to average volume. Didn't get to average volume on the last two-day candles. And we're still sitting above on the half-day chart above that weekly trend line. We're just below it with a doji, green doji on the 2-day. So we're watching bonds, not excited about them at this point. Gold, however, for the week is up. We crossed over. That's the reason that as we run the numbers on our trade execution summary grid and our 5-day plus ETF trading analysis and execution plan, we are still bullish on gold because we punched through on the weekly chart with all that energy pushing it up and through the weekly trend line after 2 down weeks. Second green candle going up. Things popped up in the morning, but pulled back and rolled off in the afternoon down 0.81%. So we're still long gold, but cautious. What do we see with Bitcoin? Down again, my friends. We saw Bitcoin hammering over, going down Tuesday, Wednesday, and really moving down on Thursday after popping up Friday afternoon and Monday. That was last Friday afternoon and this Monday. And again, pulling back, we talked about once we broke that 2 weeks and things decisively jacked over, strong going down. You see that on the Monday, Tuesday, the Wednesday, that was Monday, Tuesday, 13th, 14th, Wednesday, Thursday, 15th, 16th, and then the Friday, 17th, and Monday, 20th. Just strong down movement in October, and then sideways for a couple of weeks, and then starting last week, hammering down again. So we are negative, we are bearish on Bitcoin. Still see that price just jacking down after some strong up moves. Again, you can go all the way back. We saw where things in Bitcoin really started moving up in mid-April. And of course, sliding sideways some and then popping up that last week in September and that first week in October. And then since then, pulling back and taking back some of that profit. That is where we are, my friends. We're going to be watching stocks, particularly tomorrow, also keeping a close eye on gold. And if you're shorting Bitcoin, of course, what is a fund that you can short Bitcoin on? I don't see it on my list here, but if I remember correctly, I've traded this before. I believe it is BITI. Yes, that is the ProShares short on Bitcoin. It moves up percentage to percentage, or inverse percentage. Bitcoin goes down 3%. It goes up 3%. So again, something else for you to potentially practice if you want to short Bitcoin. My friends, thank you so much for being with us. Always love to hear from you. Patreon members, check your email. God bless. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth.